Hi everyone, welcome back. Do you have a lot of anxiety or do you constantly worry about what people think of you? Maybe you've been pretty anxious your whole life and have tried to do the right thing. Well, if you said yes to these, you might want to listen up a little bit more. I'm gonna talk about 5 different signs that you might be a people pleaser or a pleaser, or otherwise known as a fearfully anxious attachment style. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandy. I'm a licensed and marriage family therapist, and I help couples heal through the lens of attachment theory and help see how their childhood plays a role in their current dynamic or core pattern in the relationship today. All right, so let's get into today's video. The first sign to look for if you think you might be a pleaser or if you want to figure out if your partner is a pleaser is, do you feel really anxious if someone's upset or annoyed with you? How does it feel inside? Do you worry a lot? Does it make you feel uncomfortable? And then what do you do next? Do you try to keep the peace? Well, if you said yes, if this sounds relatable to you, this is a very strong sign that you are a pleaser. You know, pleasers really need people to like them and approve of them. They really don't want anyone to be upset with them. It makes them feel very uncomfortable with conflict. All right, so this is the second sign to look for to identify the pleaser attachment style, okay? This person will seek connection and avoid rejection by anticipating and meeting other people's needs. So for pleasers, it's all about others' focus, and they will observe and be hypervigilant, and they'll read the temperature in the room to avoid rejection. So in order to avoid the rejection, they look for different ways to meet other people's needs, almost as a disarming technique, almost placating and kind of making you feel good or meeting your need so that you don't have an opportunity to reject me. Okay, see how that works? So look out for that, seeking connection and avoiding rejection by meeting other people's needs. The problem here, just as a warning, is when this happens a lot, the pleaser will tend to feel resentful that they keep meeting other people's needs and nobody meets their needs. Well, here's why: because you're looking for a lot of opportunities to meet other people's needs. Okay, so just be aware of this. Okay, so for the third sign of identifying a pleaser attachment style, this person will have a lot of difficulty with confronting others when they feel wronged, and they'll have a hard time saying no as well. So setting boundaries might be difficult for them. And because of the difficulty confronting or saying no, because remember, they fear rejection, they might be dishonest. And what I mean by being dishonest is they're not necessarily setting out to be deceitful. They might deny that they're upset, or they might tell you they're fine and they're not fine. They might sugarcoat or minimize the conflict or the hurt feelings or whatever. So they're less than truthful. So you're not going to get the genuineness or the transparency that you might look for. They will hide that because they, it goes back to the 1 and 2 here, where they're trying to avoid rejection and they're seeking approval. So if I tell you the truth and you don't like the truth, then you might be mad at me or you might reject me. So I might just minimize how much I'm upset about it, or I might tell you a more positive version of the truth. All right, so the fourth sign to look for of a people pleaser or pleaser attachment style is when you look back at childhood, did this person try to be the good kid? This person might have tried to gain the parents' approval through performance and behavior, maybe being a yes man, very agreeable to parents, maybe even I've had clients where they go ahead and take a degree in something that the parents wanted them to take, not necessarily what they wanted. So they'll go as far as choosing a career that the parents want for them in order to continue to gain approval, to be the good kid. So the fifth sign I have for you today to identify a pleaser attachment style is that this person tends to resent giving more than they get back, and they feel like a doormat. Here's the thing. They feel like this on the inside. You won't necessarily see that resentment on the outside. You might see the resentment come out through maybe sarcasm or indirectness, forgetfulness, things like that. But they're not going to necessarily tell you that they resent you. You won't see it. So it's an inward resentment because they feel like they're giving, 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 and they don't get anything back. And then they complain that they are a doormat. Not understanding that they're giving messages that they're fine with doing these things, and pleasers have a hard time receiving and believing that they deserve to receive. So they're not going to give off messages that they are looking for reciprocation. They might say things like, I'd like to be appreciated, but they don't really push for it hard, and it's not messaged loud enough. So as a result, the pleaser really feels kind of gypped on the inside, and they might have an angry dialogue inside their head, but they're not necessarily saying it. Remember, in the previous signs, they're not confronting anybody really. Okay, they might one day when they're really, really angry, but as a just a way of being, they're not necessarily confronting, and it's an inward resentment. Okay, if any of these signs or most of the signs sound familiar, at least 2 to 3 signs, I mean, there's a good chance that you are a pleaser. And I'm going to do a video next coming up of how to heal that wound and learn to grow into becoming a secure connector. So, all right, you guys, that's all I have for this video. I hope you liked it. Please leave comments in the comment sections about anything I may have forgotten that you as a pleaser or your pleaser loved one does or says, to share with everybody else. Other than that, thank you so much for watching again. And until the next video, aloha.